Kenyans once again for their continued cooperation and participation in the big count. We are very encouraged with the progress that we have made so far, and we are certain that we'll be able to register the intended objective of this census exercise that ends on Saturday, the 31st of August. We are now on the home stretch, which is 72 hours from the last day. So all of us must begin counting, and we must ensure that within that 72-hour period, we are all enumerated. We also want to appreciate the young men and women, most of whom have been the enumerators, for having walked, sometimes during the night, sometimes when it is raining, to ensure that everybody has gotten a chance to be enumerated. We appreciate too that not many Kenyans got the opportunity to be enumerated on Saturday and Sunday, the first 2 days, and many of them were at work from Monday till today. And therefore, the possibility that enumerators went to certain households and did not get the occupants is something that we are alive to. And that is why we're saying that there is a callback card, that when these enumerators come to your home and they don't find you, they will slip under your door a callback card. Now, when you come back home from work and you get that callback card, the callback card will contain information with regards to the telephone number of the enumerator who came to your home, and therefore that number, please use it to call the enumerator so that you can agree with that enumerator when you will be available for you to be enumerated. So you can also agree with the enumerator at appropriate time when you can make an appointment. It doesn't have to be the very same day, it could be any other day, so that they can come back and enumerate you. We have received many calls through the toll-free line, and we want to encourage Kenyans to continue using that toll-free line, not just for enumeration, but also for reporting any incidences that they might have witnessed during the process of enumeration. Now, the toll-free line, I'll repeat it again, is 0800 221 020. I'll say that again, 0800 221 020. On security, again, we want to report here that all agencies that are charged with the responsibility of ensuring that security is at its best, they have worked around the clock to ensure that this exercise has gone on smoothly. We understand that there are those who might have perhaps gone against the law, and yesterday we were briefed here that a number of them have been apprehended and are awaiting to be arraigned in the court of law. This census exercise is a constitutional requirement. And therefore, in the unlikely event, and I'm using that unlikely event, that you decide not to cooperate with the enumerator, then you will be breaking the law. And the fine for doing that is 500,000 shillings or 6 months in jail, or both. So we are urging Kenyans to cooperate with the enumerators and to ensure that when they visit you, you allow them to enumerate you, ask you questions, and you respond to those questions as is expected by law. We also have regular police emergency lines, which you can be able to use. These are 999, 112, as well as 911. We keep on appealing to Kenyans to cooperate with the enumerators when they come to you. And this has been outstanding, but we still continue to call upon Kenyans to cooperate with the enumerators, because this census exercise is not for the enumerators. The assumption is that it is not important, but it is important because it is intended to provide data that is aimed at helping the government to plan better for us in the next 10 years. Now, for more details about, before I finish up about with the census, let me just say something again here. Now, there have been many calls and requests and even suggestions that the period of the census be extended. Now, you're all aware that the school holidays were extended by a week. They ought to have schools ought to have opened on the 26th, but they were extended to next week. That allowed us a whole period of one week to be able to enumerate the Kenyans. And therefore, you can take it to the bank that there will be no extension. By the 31st, midnight, the census exercise will come to a close. And therefore, that means that if you have not been enumerated up to now, and that's why we consistently talk about the toll-free line, that you can be able to call and you'll be enumerated. In any case, the enumerators will be walking around for those households that have not been enumerated. By the end of the 31st, everybody will have been enumerated. And therefore, to talk extensively about the importance of this census exercise, I wish to call upon the DG to come and give us details of why we must be able to give this very important exercise the attention that it deserves. DG, please.
I think it is important to re-emphasize about why we need accurate census data to remind ourselves. It is actually the foundation of any modern society, the foundation of a statistical system. And as a country, we are very proud because we have consistently done the census after every 10 years since our independence. And this will be the 6th census to be undertaken. And that is a very, very huge milestone. And again, looking at it further, to show government commitment to the development of statistics in this country, this census is fully government funded because government has funded 99% of the census, and we acknowledge that that is a very, very big proportion, and taxpayers' money are the ones that are funding the census, and that's how government accords the importance of this national exercise. And looking at the uses, why do we need accurate data? Accurate data for the census is key for evidence-based planning. We need accurate information so that we can plan well. And for the census, we collect data up to the lowest administrative unit. Therein, we ensure that we are leaving no one behind. We get a lot of details about the size of the population, the distribution of the population, and where they live. And we are collecting a lot of socio-economic characteristics of our Kenyan population. So we will have a very, very comprehensive database which will guide in evidence-based decision-making in this country. And another very key important use is in now the modern society, we are talking about geospatial analysis, where you are locating information to location. So this is going to happen with this census. We are lucky it's a digital census. We have cartographic maps. We have the facilities themselves, the physical features. So it will be very easy to demarcate, earmark physical facilities on a map, and this would help planners, would help many users to know the number of people to focus when we are planning for the number of schools that we do require, the number of hospitals, for example, we require, and other administrative offices in the next 10 years. The use is actually not only for government. Census data and statistics in general have got many users. Looking at the business community, the private sector, for example, in this census, we have a module, for example, for ICT. And what is new, we are also looking at areas of e-commerce. So we have a question that's looking at online transaction, which is very, very important because we acknowledge that there is very high penetration of telephone or mobile phones in this country, and there is huge opportunity in terms of e-commerce. And I cannot also overemphasize the use of census data for research and academic activities. Census data is one of the data sets that is widely used in research and in academic, both locally and internationally. So we need accurate data so that we can determine the Kenyans' demographic realities. In this country, we have many non-state actors also, the civil society, which normally deals with many areas in their interventions. They would require accurate data that is broken down at the lowest level, so that when they are making interventions, those interventions are evidence-based. When they are planning on how to come up with programs, projects, how to monitor their projects, this data would be very, very, very important. And on the international scene, we acknowledge that we are a community of nations, and countries know each other based on their national data, and more so particularly population data. And that's why we have always stressed the point that we are implementing these census based on international standards. We are guided by the UN. We are implementing these census based on the UN principles and recommendations of implementing the 2020 round of censuses. The issue is quality. And that's why we are happy and we are acknowledging Kenyans for supporting our team, cooperating with them, and also giving them quality data. So as a country, we stand tall, proud, because this will be the most comprehensive data that we are compiling from a census. And again, this will be the first time we are doing a digital census. What that means, the quality is assured, and also the time it is going to take to release the results. And we have assured the public that the results, preliminary results, will be done or will be released after 3 months. I want to thank you.